In science fiction movies like Frankenstein and Reanimator, human bodies are revived, existing in a strange state between life and death. While this may seem like pure fantasy, a recent study suggests that a third state of existence might actually be present in modern biology. According to the researchers, this third state occurs when the cells of a dead organism continue to function after its death. Hello and welcome to Inspired Earth. I am super happy to be back. I'm glad that you guys are here. Thank you to everybody listening. And I just wanted to start off with a congratulations to everybody for being brave enough to come and expand your knowledge and your horizons and challenge your perspectives of the world. It's fun to do. It is challenging sometimes, though. We talk about challenging stuff. The reason we talk about challenging stuff is to learn more about it so that we can overcome it. And with that being said, I just wanted to move on. Yeah, so we're going to start off with just some quick little highlights of some news, some interesting stuff. And then we'll mainly be talking about some nuclear updates. So we'll start off with Earth to briefly gain a second moon, scientists say. And this is BBC, and it says, according to researchers involved in the study, if an asteroid like this is moving at a relatively low speed, around 2,200 miles per hour, or 3,540 kilometers an hour, Earth's gravitational field can exert a strong influence, enough to trap it temporarily, which is exactly what's about to happen. Starting this weekend, this small asteroid will spend about 2 months orbiting Earth. Dr. Jennifer Millard, astronomer and host of Awesome Astronomy podcast, told the BBC Today's program that the asteroid would enter orbit on the 29th of September and then was predicted to leave on the 25th of November. It's not going to complete a full revolution of our planet. It's just going to kind of have its orbit altered, just twisted slightly by our planet, and then it'll continue on its merry way. The asteroid is approximately 32 feet or 10 meters long, which is tiny in comparison to Earth's moon, which is a diameter of approximately 3,474 kilometers. So the next one that we're going to skim through is new plant produces lithium 500 times faster with 96% recovery rate from brine, liquid salt water. The world is gradually moving towards a cleaner, more sustainable future, and lithium is a crucial element in this transition. Energy tech company SLB has successfully demonstrated sustainable lithium production at its demonstration plant in Clayton Valley, Nevada. SLB has announced that the results from their demonstration plant confirm a recovery rate of 96% lithium from brine at operational test. Lithium is a key enabler of electrification, so we must find ways to accelerate its production without adversely affecting the environment, said Gavin Rennick, president of SLB's new energy business. Interestingly, this new integrated tech produces lithium from brine 500 times faster than any other known techniques. Moreover, this technology is more sustainable because it requires only 10% of the land, along with less energy, water, and chemical reagents. Operating at approximately 1/10 the size of a commercial scale facility, the plant reached a verified recovery rate of 96% lithium from brine. And skipping down to the bottom here, lithium is sold commercially as lithium chloride used as feedstock for producing lithium metal. lithium carbonate and used in smartphones, short-range electric vehicles, lithium hydroxide, long-range electric vehicle batteries, and SLB solution is highly flexible and can be adjusted to produce any of these products. So lithium is very important because normally it has to be mined. So it sounds like they have a process that we won't have to destroy mountains and stuff like that to be able to get to it, which is excellent. So we've got another one we're going to skim through here. Game-changing energy harvester generates endless electricity from seawater. Researchers have created a new energy harvester device that may be capable of continuously generating electricity from seawater. The Korea Institute of Machinery and Materials researchers developed this new harvester that depends on natural movement of sodium ions in seawater to produce electricity. Now, I'm going to read part of this, and it'll probably sound familiar to something else that I've read before, but it says that they have carbon nanotubes and that they put the water through that, and the seawater is used as an electrolyte, a conductive medium, in the harvester. As the ions in the seawater move, a potential difference is created, generating electricity. During this process, more cations in the electrolyte gather closer to the anode, which has a relatively higher oxygen functional group content, and a potential difference is created as a result of the arrangement of ions between the two electrodes. So, if you guys remember the other seawater electrode device that I had read before, they were like pumping it through a specific pathway that they had built for the water. And in this one, it sounds like they would just be able to use the flow of seawater naturally without having it go through a specific way. So this sounds like it's actually more generalized than the other one that we had already read about. So that's why I wanted to mention this, is that we're seeing this technology get better and better, even within the last couple months, which is pretty fascinating. We have this one that we'll read a little bit more about. Solar device makes 20 liters of drinking water a day from seawater with 93% efficiency. Researchers at the University of Waterloo have developed an energy-efficient desalination device that uses the sun's power to produce clean drinking water from seawater. Now, before I read any more of this one, I'm going to remind us of another one that I've read again. And that if you remember when I had read that they figured out that they can make electricity from evaporating seawater or any water, just from evaporation in general, they can make electricity from it. So I don't know why we're not looking at that sort of stuff. I mean, it's like insanely simple, like the water and quartz thing. How have we never figured that out before? Why are we not using that sort of stuff? It's shockingly simple. But anyways, I just wanted to remind people that this is just one little invention or discovery, and that there's many hundreds or thousands more that are better or similar happening all across the world. So this innovative approach could provide a sustainable solution to the global water crises, especially for coastal and island nations where fresh water is scarce. The new technology, which mimics nature's water cycle, could revolutionize water desalination by offering a cost-effective and eco-friendly alternative to traditional methods. Tackling global water scarcity with solar energy. The need for fresh water is more urgent than ever, with approximately 2.2 billion people worldwide lacking access to clean drinking water. Rapid population growth and increasing water consumption are adding to the pressure on all coastal and island nations, where desalination has become a vital process. According to the UN World Water Development Report 2024, the demand for new technologies that can efficiently generate fresh water has never been higher. Traditional desalination systems, which rely on pushing seawater through membranes to separate salt, are energy intensive and prone to operational issues. That's actually what I was just describing in that previous article too, was them pushing through stuff in a specific way, and now they don't have to have it through that. They can just use regular seawater or like an open environment. So salt buildup on the device's surface often clogs the system, requiring frequent maintenance and disrupting continuous operation. Researchers at the University of Waterloo, however, have found an innovative solution. Inspired by nature, they developed a solar-powered desalination device that mimics the ways trees naturally transport water from their roots to their leaves. Our inspiration comes from observing how nature sustains itself and the way water evaporates and condenses in the environment. And I've talked about this as well, of biomimicry, and that a lot of our best people are just copying nature, which there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just pointing out that we think that nature is so simple, where people are like, oh, nature's dumb, I'm just going to step on this spider and nothing's going to happen, or like whatever, the spider's dumb, nature's dumb, that sort of stuff. But actually, nature's extremely smart. We are nature. And a lot of the things that we figure out are from watching nature, and we take a lot of inspiration from that. So we should have more gratitude for nature and not just take it for granted. The new device efficiently evaporates and condenses water in a closed system, eliminating salt buildup and significantly improving the process's sustainability. Unlike traditional systems that need constant cleaning, this new technology ensures continuous desalination without interruption. Solar power, the key to energy efficiency. What makes Waterloo device particularly impressive is its reliance on solar energy. Utilizing the advanced materials, the system can convert 93% of sunlight into usable energy, a significant improvement over current desalination technologies. That's really efficient. 93%, that's crazy. This high efficiency allows devices to produce around 20 liters of fresh water per day, 20 liters of fresh water per square meter every day. Sorry, I misread that. Meeting the World Health Organization's recommended daily water requirement per person. At the heart of the system is a combination of innovative materials. PhD students Eva Wang and Weinan Zhao are part of the research team. Designed the device using nickel foam coated with a conductive polymer and thermo-responsive pollen particles. These materials absorb sunlight across the solar spectrum, converting it into heat. A thin layer of seawater on the surface of the polymer heats up and moves upward, similarly to the capillary action found in trees. As the water evaporates, the salt is carried down to the bottom layer of the device, effectively preventing blockages. This self-cleaning mechanism is reminiscent of a swimming pool's backwash system, allowing the device to run continuously without maintenance. The system we've engineered induces water to evaporate, transports it to the surface, and condenses it in a closed cycle, effectively preventing the accumulation of salt that reduces the efficiency of the device. Dr. Tam elaborates in a press release. And they have a video here from Interesting Engineering, 100 gallons daily from air. Portable solution for remote areas. And I'm thinking about Florida right now, right about to get hit by this hurricane. They could probably use these things afterwards. I know Houston could. Houston didn't have power for like 3 or 4 weeks. So I hope everybody in Florida is getting ready for, Hurricane Helen. They've said it's going to be category 5 or 4, not 5. In addition to its energy efficiency, the device is also portable, making it an ideal solution for regions where fresh water is scarce. This new device is not only efficient but also portable, making it ideal for use in remote regions where access to fresh water is limited. says Dr. Yuning Li, another professor from Waterloo's Department of Chemical Engineering, in the press release. Li contributed to the development by generating solar energy for the project and testing the device's light harvesting capabilities using a solar tester. The device's portability and ability to operate in remote locations make it attractive for coastal communities where desalination is often a necessity. The researchers believe their system could be a game changer for areas with limited infrastructure and resources to fresh water. So that's really good. And here we're going to start talking about the nuclear advancements or news, or at least some of them, because there has been so much in the past weeks to months that I cannot keep up with it. It's just insane how much new production and technology and manufacturing stuff that we are putting into nuclear across the entire globe, not even just America. I've talked about China and America, both, as well as other countries, but here we have, and before I read this as well, this is about Pennsylvania, and a lot of people listen to the podcast from Pennsylvania, so I just wanted to say thank you to all the Pennsylvania folk, and it's pretty fascinating, that we have so many people from Pennsylvania, considering how much of a energy state it is. It makes sense that you guys would be curious and fascinated with energy the same way that I am in a Texas area, also an energy state. I think anytime we see the infrastructure and the facilities involved in this sort of stuff and the ramifications of what happens to the land that we're doing this stuff on, we have a different perspective than people that just, I guess, put their hose in their car for their gas and don't think about it or whatever. So I just wanted to say thank you to all the Pennsylvania folk. So Pennsylvania's nuclear energy industry plays a critical role in providing safe, reliable, carbon-free electricity that helps reduce emissions and grow Pennsylvania's economy, Governor Josh Shapiro said. Unlike power plants using fossil fuels like coal or natural gas, nuclear plants do not directly release carbon dioxide or other greenhouse gas emissions, driving global warming. The partial nuclear reactor meltdown at 3 Mile Island happened on March 28, 1979, when one of the plant's two reactor cooling mechanisms malfunctioned. The reactor will be reopened to power Microsoft's data centers, which was not involved in the accident, the reactor that's being turned on. Before it was prematurely shuttered due to poor economics, this plant was among the safest and most reliable nuclear power plants on the grid. We look forward to bringing it back with a new name and renewed mission to serve as an economic engine for Pennsylvania, Dominguez says. I don't know how to feel about that. That seems kind of ridiculous to say that 3 Mile Island has the best safety record of any nuclear plant on the grid. That's kind of ridiculous to say. However, some state activists are worried that taxpayers would foot the bill for the plant's reopening. What would be a better investment for our money? That's the question we should be asking. We were told, let the marketplace decide. The market decided, and they decided it's not nuclear, said Eric Epstein of the watchdog group 3 Mile Island Alert. 3 Mile Island's working reactor was shut down in 2019 after a legislative effort to bail out the plant failed when it could not keep up with the demand for other cheap energy sources. Former Microsoft CEO Bill Gates invested $1 billion in a nuclear power plant that broke ground in Kemmerer, Wyoming in June. The plant will power homes and AI, Gates told NPR Steve Inkstep. And Microsoft is not the only corporation going nuclear right now. It's wild. A couple months ago I had said that we were going to have small-scale nuclear reactors being spread out the United States. Well, I didn't just say it. The DoD said it, and I quoted them. But now we're seeing all these corporations coming out with reactors themselves. Amazon is going to be doing reactors apparently, which again doesn't seem like they take safety as the number one priority. So we'll just have to keep back and watch. I'm a fan of nuclear if we can do it safely. That's my key thing. This is something that you have to be extremely responsible with, and these are people that are irresponsible, frankly, extremely irresponsible. So yeah, that's where we have to have the accountability as the taxpayers, because we're paying for it, right? That's what they were talking about over here. We're probably going to pay for it. I'm not super savvy on the economic market decision that they're talking about with closing down that nuclear power plant. I will say this on the economic market type of thing is that we subsidize fossil fuels to the umpteenth degree. I mean, just mind-boggling. So if we didn't do that sort of stuff, if we didn't subsidize the oil, then it would be a lot more affordable. Everything else would be way more affordable. So here we are. The U.S. is dismantling nuclear warheads to power the next generation of reactors. And this is CNN from September 9th. So this is it's been going on for a little bit, as we've been talking about. Inside a highly classified facility in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, the same facility that enriched uranium for the first atomic bomb in the era of the Manhattan Project, workers are turning old, unexploded warheads into fuel that will power cities. The recipe to create advanced reactor fuel involves melting weapons-grade uranium with low-enriched uranium in a crucible. A massive metal cauldron heated to around 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit to turn its contents into molten soup. Emerging from its furnace, a glowing orange cask filled with hot liquid uranium is slowly lowered into a cooling chamber. The hardened finished product, which looks like black charcoal, can be safely held in hand. This fuel is set to power the next generation of America's nuclear reactors. Small modular power stations that are easier and cheaper to build. They require far less upkeep and physical space than the aging fleet of large nuclear power plants. One downside, they also require a more enriched and energy-dense uranium. At last year, the United States got the vast majority of its enriched uranium from Russia. A bipartisan law passed after Russia's invasion of Ukraine put a stop to that. Now scientists and companies are racing to produce it at home. So I talked about how uranium's price is skyrocketing, and it seems like they're just trying to use this as like a market crunch. Like I'm sure there's a more specific market term for it. I'll try to look it up and use it next time. But it seems like they're using the scarcity from the war as a method to increase their profits. Kind of like with oil, they subsidized it like crazy to where they make a bunch of money off of it. Well, it seems like they're going to try to do the same thing with uranium. Whereas we have technologies that they don't even need to use uranium. So why are you going into the most expensive resource? It seems like a scam. That this is just reeks of a scam, and that we're being taken advantage of. I can just see it so clearly because of the fact that we have so many other different technologies that don't rely on uranium. Why are we going to use the one resource that's being jacked up by the war? It's very convenient that the people making the bombs and getting rich from taxpayers to go and blow up the bombs are also going to be getting rich from making the uranium go up and then sticking to this technology that needs the uranium. And I'll go back to that oil website that even asked, if we have all this technology, Why are we letting Ukraine suffer every winter with no power? Or you can throw in Gaza into that, or any other place that is being attacked and having their power taken from them. So with that, I'll just get off my spiel of them exploiting the market. I mean, the other article was talking about respecting the market, and that what I'm describing right now is not respecting the market. But anyways, downblending old weapons from the nuclear arsenal is not the only way to make this fuel. Known as high-assay low-enriched uranium, or HALEU for short, a couple of facilities around the country are also making it, and they are expected to produce most of the fuel in the long run. The federal government is expected to award over $2 billion in the coming months to uranium enrichment companies to help kickstart the supply chain. This is like a pyramid scheme. I'm biting my tongue right now, but in the meantime, the feds are doing a couch cushion exercise, scouring high and low for suitable nuclear fuel that may have slipped through the cracks. And Michael Goff, Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Energy Department's Office of Nuclear Energy, in addition to the U.S. nuclear stockpile, the Idaho National Laboratory is also downblending part of its collection of fuel from research reactors. That the U.S. is looking to its own arsenal for nuclear fuel speaks of how much of a scramble there is to get new age reactors off the ground, like Terra Power, the Bill Gates-backed project in Wyoming that recently broke ground. So they're talking about a scramble to get new age reactors. That's exactly what I'm describing, what I was just describing a little bit ago. In the last couple of months, like basically since this podcast has started, nuclear energy has gone haywire internationally. And even before the podcast, I mean, China's been on this for a while. And that's kind of what I am thinking, is that they are, I've kind of talked about this a couple times because we keep on seeing it. That's why I'm bringing it up, is that the Chinese are releasing stuff and we're having to keep up with them as they're going. So that, for me, is why it seems like we have this flip of the switch where all of a sudden we have dozens, if not hundreds, of different corporations all springing up to use this technology, when all of a sudden there wasn't this technology a couple months ago. And now we're sprinting to get that off the ground, as it's saying right here. It should make all of us ask, why is it with a flip of the switch that all of a sudden this technology is completely accessible to us and there's tons of corporations all digging into it? It makes me wonder, what other technologies could we do this with? And who's holding it back? Why are we doing this? Clearly, the answer is money, and this whole banking thing that I've been talking about for a while is a key component to it. It's very complicated,